back when they memorialized the place. We're parked out in front in a limousine, and he's telling the story of what happened that day. And without going into the details, but I'm mentioning this because John Connally, again, was the governor of Texas, the Democratic governor of Texas, but he was the Treasury Secretary under Nixon when they took us off the gold standard.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we're going back into the Anatole Hotel, and he stops and he looks at me. He said, I read your book. He said, a fine piece of work. And he said, I know your heart's in the right place. He said, but you don't have a clue what's going on.
Right.
And neither do the American people. Because if they did, there'd be a revolution in this country.
Right. Right.
That's 1992.
Right.
And by the way, this was a T-shirt. I just found this that I got made up. Beware of Slick Willie.
Yeah.
The clown that became the president of the United States.
And his wife nearly made it.
These are the imbeciles, morons, and arrogant little freaks that are running and ruining our lives. And you look at the clown show going on now, it's at Walt Disney at the height of his time couldn't have come up with a better Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck crew than what we call Washington. And on both sides, to me, to me, it's a crime syndicate. I don't, I'm a political atheist. I don't believe in any of it.
Well, we all know what's happening, but we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg, as you would say. It's like when I was in Vietnam, I saw white guys fighting on the Viet Cong side. There's always operatives. In fact, when CIA stands for Capital's Invisible Army, and as I was getting out, the CIA, or it's called Air America, approached me, and they wanted to know if I would fly for Air America. Starting pay about $85K a year, which is not bad.
Wow.
Well, plus a bonus of about $400.
Wow.
The bonus was to run drugs. So Air America was running drugs to finance covert operations.
Huh?
And years later, you remember this guy named Hassanpour? He got shot down because Ollie North was involved in that one. And he was flying drugs for for the Nicaraguans. And the CIA had hired him because that's how they finance covert operations.
Wow.
In fact, the evacuation scene of the people climbing the roof, flying off the last, whatever that was, in 1975, that was a CIA helicopter.
Wow.
It wasn't American. Capital's Invisible Army. So on the ground, when we were fighting, we didn't know who we were fighting a lot of the times. This is the worst part, Gerald, talking about fake. I've been watching the CBS Evening News. I'm on a carrier, Marine helicopter, gunship pilot, and we're involved in some nasty, nasty battles, killed a lot of people. Thousands of people. They killed a lot of us. And then they'd report the news. And this is Walter Cronkite, da-da-da-da-da. I'm going, the pilots will go like this and go, that didn't happen. Gerald, we were there. It didn't happen. Yeah. And what they portrayed us, do you remember that there was My Lai and there was the guy shooting the Viet Cong in the head? And all that stuff went on every day. But we had to shoot kids too, because they sent kids after us. And so, Gerald, it rips. I'm a U.S. Marine. I'm an academy graduate. It rips the soul out of us. And then I come back to the States in 72 and I get spit on by the hippies of the Woodstock generation. And as a pilot, I still remember taxiing into Norton Air Force Base. I took 16 men over. I'm a lieutenant. I took 16 men over, 16 returned. And that was my job. Our job as officers to bring our men home, one piece. All of them came back alive. We crashed 3 times. We still brought them home alive. Mm-hmm. And the pilots of the aircraft, Air Force pilot says, ladies and gentlemen, as soon as you get off this plane, change into civilian clothes. America has changed. I went, So as soon as we step off, I get hit by eggs and spit on, and all the protesters of that era. And I said to myself, I should have come home and shot communists here. Worse than that, I'm sure I saw Nancy Pelosi's face in that crowd.
Well, these are the guys, the Crosby, Stills, Nashes, and Youngs. And they're the ones that attacked everybody that wouldn't get the COVID jab.
Sweet
the hypocrisy of it. Yep.
Great era. You know what I mean? For Gerald, it shaped us. It was a great era.
Yeah.
So we're still fighting back. But the commies are winning. They're in politics today. They're school teachers today.
Well, let's look what happened with the COVID war. I mean, it was launched in China, and then Italy was the first one to follow the orders. Get in your house, close down your business.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what to do. I'm in charge. Stand 6 feet apart.
Right.
The wind blows only in straight lines, 6 feet apart. It doesn't go around. And when you go in when you're in an airplane, you put a mask on. But when you eat and drink, you could take the mask off because the COVID knows you're eating and drinking, and it's not going to bother you then. So it is the communist. I call it the communist fascist state of America.
Exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it's fascism.
Yeah.
Fascism is when government takes over business.
Yep.
And and Fauci is a fascist. Do you know what I mean? He worships to Hitler and Mussolini and those guys.
Well, again, Mussolini called it the merger of state and corporate powers.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this chip bill that they did. This multi-billion-dollar chip bill. Yeah, go open a place up here. Here's money to go do it. Hey, I'm a big guy. I want tax credits. The rest of you workers of slave land, you pay everything. Look what the IRS, $80 billion go into the IRS so they could hunt down the small businesses and we the little people of slave land here. You think the Buffetts and the Gates and all the big shots out there don't know how to beat the system and have the whole deal done? They're not going to get a penny from them. They're going to go after us. So I call it a communist fascist state.
But let me give credit to Italy today because I'm very proud of your new prime minister. And they're calling her a fascist. That's a good sign. Do you know what I mean? She's as tough as frickin' nails. On the other side, you got this person, Truss or something in England, and she's a new prime minister, and the Queen kisses her. The Queen dies. That was a sign from God. And right after that, the English pound collapses. The pensions nearly collapse.
Yeah.
And they went back to quantitative easing. In other words, printing money to solve their problems, which goes back to 1971, which Nixon started.
Yep. So tell me about Capitalist Manifesto. This is, I started reading this. This is so